President Trump has doubled down on his declared intention to impose tariffs now on pharmaceutical imports into the US, and that could affect India heavily. India exported about $12 billion worth of pharma products to the US last year, and that's up from just about a couple of $1 billion a year worth only 10 years earlier. So this is an export that's been rising quite dramatically. About a third of all India's pharma exports now go to the US. So any break in that or any inhibition of that would certainly affect India's pharmaceutical companies, but also they would hit patients here in America.
Pharmaceuticals from India and also from China are particularly important in forming in the generic drug market. You know, that's where you have a lot of market drugs that people use routinely. Antibiotics are the most common one, but there are all sorts of common drugs that are used for cardiovascular diseases, for diabetes, etc., that are generic drugs. Prices for generic drugs will particularly increase, and that'll cause some problems both within the U.S. for people who take those medications, as well as for the countries that are exporting the pharmaceuticals.
Trump wants all these medicines now to be produced in the US and sees tariffs as the way to bring in production.
We don't make our own drugs, our own pharmaceuticals. We don't make our own drugs anymore. The drug companies are in Ireland and they're in lots of other places, China. And all I have to do is impose a tariff. The more, the faster they move in. The higher the tariff, it's very simple. It's inversely proportional. The higher the tariff, the faster they come.
But not so fast. Not so fast, certainly, as Trump seems to expect, and not so easy as Trump seems to think.
It's tough because there are high production standards that we want to have for these drugs. They are, depending on the drug, can be very complicated to manufacture, and then depend on particular supplies of certain sorts of inputs. You know, so for example, insulin products, in many cases, what they really require is that you have the inputs. The inputs tend to come from things like pig's intestines. So if you don't have a ready supply of pig's intestines, it's hard to make enough insulin.
It's not just about production standards and available inputs. It's about the economics of production.
There are reasons why many goods are produced in India or China. The cost of production is inherently lower. Labor costs are lower. In many cases, the supply of ingredients that go into these medications are already there. To bring them into the U.S., you may be able to do it, but inherently will be higher cost.
Given the price to be paid both by patients and producers, neither is likely to agree with the writing up on the wall at this pharmaceutical store.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in to CNBC-TV18. Make sure you follow us and stay updated on all our social media platforms.